Hey guys, welcome to Cape and Cowl Cafe. I'm Nemo, and today we're going to be going over the top 10 suits I would like to see in Marvel's Wolverine. If you guys enjoy the video at any point today, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button, but let's hop right in. Okay, so Marvel's Wolverine is releasing later this year, and if we're following Insomniac's track record with the Spider-Man games, we can expect to see quite a few costumes, hopefully. Let's get started. Alright, first up, let's talk about some honorable mentions. Now, I would love to see pretty much every single live-action Wolverine suit added to this game, but I think my favorite would have to be the X2 uniform, the black leather one. It's growing on me, you know, like I know that black leather was the standard during the early 2000s and it was kind of cringe, but I gotta admit, on Wolverine, it kind of looks badass.
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Now, as much as I am not really a fan of Wolverine's MCU costume from Deadpool and Wolverine, I do think that it should be put in the game. You know, there are a lot of people who like it, and it will most likely make an appearance. I mean, it's a really popular costume. It's the first time that we've really seen the classic yellow and blue in live action, even though it's the typical militaristic MCU padded look. Not a huge fan, but I know some people are, so it should probably be in the game. Now, the next honorable mention would have to be a multitude of casual outfits for Logan. In the movies, that's pretty much all Wolverine wears. I mean, I would love to see the tank top from X-Men Origins Wolverine. I would also love to see the brown leather jacket from Days of Future Past. That one looks so sick. Now, in the trailer for the game, we've already seen a few casual outfits for Logan. We've seen this flannel shirt in the trailer and, you know, a jacket. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of these, but I really hope that they have a few that are based off of the movies. I also kind of hope that we just have a basic shirtless look, kind of like in the Wolverine movie. And the last honorable mention would have to be Old Man Logan. I don't know if they would adapt the one from the movie or the comic books. Maybe they do both. That would be really cool. Now, I'm not like a huge fan of this look. Like, I'm not going to be going feral over it if it, you know, shows up in the game. It's an old man, you know, it's a skin of an old man. It's not really that cool, but it does have a lot of significance when it comes to the character's history in the comics, and the movie's really popular. It was a really good movie, so if it was in the game, I would not be mad at all. I just, you know, wouldn't put it on my most wanted list. All right, first up on the list at number 10, we have Wolverine's Ablation Armor. Now, this armor was created for him by the Superior Spider-Man after Logan lost his healing factor. This suit just looks so cool. I love the black and the yellow color scheme, and I love the V shape of the yellow sections going down the torso. It just looks sick. There's some yellow padding on the arms that look really cool. It's a more slightly armored look while still looking like a fabric suit, so it's not too much, you know? It's a pretty balanced costume overall. Now, this suit would be really good for people who want to play through the game with a classic looking Wolverine suit, but don't really like the blue. You know, they want that classic yellow and black. This one's near perfect. Also, the really interesting thing about this costume is the fact that we see Wolverine ejecting claws from gauntlets on his wrists instead of between his knuckles. It's just a really cool change. I don't know if they could do that in the game, but if they could, it would be so sick. All right, next up on the list at number 9, we have Ultimate Wolverine. Now, this essentially is just Wolverine mixed with the Winter Soldier. Such a cool concept, and it is so sad that the Ultimate Universe is ending already. What a shame. Either way, this suit absolutely has to be in the game. It's such a cool design. I love the red and black color scheme. I love the Winter Soldier style full face mask. So tough. I mean, black and red is one of the coolest color schemes, so why wouldn't it work on Wolverine, you know? All right, next up at number 8, we have Wolverine from the X-Men Evolution TV show. I think this is such an underrated look for the character. They ditched the yellow, replaced it with orange, so now we have this really cool orange and dark blue color scheme. It's so cool. Of course, Wolverine always looks good sleeveless, but I do think that the blue sections of the shirt do look a little weird here. You know, you got his armpits showing, but it's not that big of a deal. This would still be really cool to see in the game. All right, the next suit on the list is a really obvious one. I will be shocked if this suit is not in the game. At number 7, we have the Weapon X costume. It's not really a costume, it's just Wolverine running around half naked with a giant helmet on his head, but it still looks badass nonetheless. Now, with the M rating that this game has, they can really lean into the feral nature of this character, and that really applies to this look. You know, they can have this guy covered in blood while he's wearing the Weapon X suit. It would be so cool. All right, next up at number 6, we're gonna have to go with Wolverine's Fantastic Four uniform. There's a few different versions of this. There's a mostly blue one you could do, or you could use this black and blue one from when he was on a team with Spider-Man, Hulk, and Ghost Rider. Such a cool concept. I love taking superheroes and giving them uniforms from different teams. It always looks so good, you know, especially with Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man's Fantastic Four uniform. Now, yeah, sure, this costume might break immersion in the dark and gritty Wolverine game, but if you want to play as a bright and colorful superhero, they could throw the suit in. Plus, it would be a really good reference to other superheroes in the Marvel universe. I don't see why they can't add it in there. All right, cracking the top 5, we got Vampire Wolverine from Earth 666. This one is just such a badass looking design, all right? It's another black and red suit, and I gotta say, black and red is like my favorite color combination for comic books ever. That's why I love Batman Beyond so much. But I mean, this suit also has a Batman style cape. Like, this would be so cool. And I understand if they can't really do the Dark Claw amalgamation suit because it's partly owned by DC, but this would be a really good alternative. Like, this looks like Batman Beyond as Wolverine. It goes so hard. Plus, in a game where you're playing as a character who's going to be constantly covered in blood, this costume fits really well. All right, next up at number 4, I'm going to have to go with Alex Ross Wolverine. Now, we know that Alex Ross is the GOAT when it comes to designing alternate looks for superheroes. I mean, look at his Spider-Man design. So good. I love the black and yellow color scheme. I like how he kind of looks more like a tiger here. Like, the yellow sections on the suit form an X, but because of the jagged lines on it, it makes it look like tiger stripes. Such a cool design. It's something different. I would like to see it. Plus, if Insomniac's Wolverine is going to do the color swap option, kind of like in Spider-Man 2, you could also make a version of the suit where the black is blue, you know? They could do that with all of the suits on this list. Why not? It would be so good. All right, coming up next at number 3, we have X-Force Wolverine. Duh. Of course, everyone wants this suit in the game. It's one of the most badass looks for the character. It's just a black Wolverine costume. Like, what more could you want? Again, they have a little bit of the red there, so black and red, goated color combo. We gotta see it. I don't know. This is just one of the coolest Wolverine designs. I really like the dark look, and this could really fit in well with the dark and gritty Wolverine experience. Like, if this suit is not in the game, I'm gonna be absolutely shocked. And the same goes for the next 2. All right, next up at number 2, we have to see the yellow and brown John Byrne design for Wolverine. This one is just a classic. A version of this suit briefly made an appearance in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, and my gosh, this suit looked so good. This costume is also just really good for people who think that the yellow and blue is a little goofy, and sometimes it kind of comes off that way. I mean, with how ferocious and violent and brutal of a character Wolverine is, you know, him wearing his goofy yellow and blue X-Men uniform doesn't really fit all of the time. I love it personally, but for people who want a slightly darker looking Wolverine suit while still looking comic booky, this is the perfect one. All right, next up at number 1, I have Wolverine's classic yellow and blue costume. Of course, duh. This has to be in the game. Everyone wants it. And what I don't mean is Insomniac's interpretation of it. I would like to see that too, but what I mean is just I want them to translate the classic Wolverine comic book costume perfectly. You know, if they make it cel shaded, whatever. You know, it would just be nice to see Wolverine wearing this costume in the game without all of the extra tactical bells and whistles that Insomniac usually gives their adaptations. Now, whether they go with this costume from the 90s or they go with the astonishing Wolverine look from the 2000s, or they could even go with his first appearance. I don't care. I just want to see a classic looking yellow and blue Wolverine costume without all of this militaristic modernization going on. I don't want to see lines and panels. I just want to see classic Wolverine. All right, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it all, I'd really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button and drop in the comments down below which Wolverine suit you would like to see the most. Let's talk about it. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later.